Our guest is Kenneth Schrupp. He's with Young Voices, and he is an interdisciplinary communicator. He's a writer and commentator. He's got a new piece in Newsweek titled, "Americans Don't Need More Pills, They Need Sports. That's the Cure to Our Anxiety." Kenneth, I need your help because I exercise 6 days a week, and my brain is attacking me on a daily basis. What do I do?
Hey, good afternoon. Thanks for having me. What I say is get off Twitter, go outside, enjoy your family, enjoy your friends. Nothing better than disconnecting from the hectic technology that weighs us down and just being human.
Oh, I've got it worse than I thought then, because that's all I do.
You have a nice family, Zach. What if you have a toxic family?
What was the piece that sparked this article? What was there a study or something that you can present to us?
Sure. So earlier this month, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services recommended that all children 8 and up be screened for anxiety, even if they don't have symptoms. And just a little bit before that, the same department said that all adults up until 65 should also be screened for anxiety. And I was just thinking, well, if they're screening everyone for anxiety, how much money are they going to make? Are people going to make from that? How many pills are they going to sell? And I really looked into it, and I found that about 10% of Americans were unaware of their anxiety. So if you have these roughly 30 million people taking anti-anxiety medications that retail for $1,000 a month, that's $360 billion a year in new revenue. I also realized that most Americans live in areas, almost half, 150 million Americans live in areas that are federally designated as not having enough mental health professionals. So most of these people getting these new diagnoses are all just going to be put on pills. They're not actually going to get treatment because there's no way to treat them.
Kenneth Schrupp is the editor-in-chief for California Review. He's got a piece in Newsweek titled, "Americans Don't Need More Pills, They Need Sports." Our guest on your 956 Drive Home. Davis Rankin, your question?
Yeah, I want to ask another question, but let me ask this one first. So explain what, if you were the prescriber and someone had normal, everyday, run-of-the-mill anxiety, first describe how that looks. And I'm not talking about the really bad stuff. And then what's the cure short of medication?
Well, I'm not a medical professional, so I wouldn't go so far as to describe what I would look for in a person with anxiety. What I can tell you, though, is that symptoms of anxiety, feelings of anxiety, and what causes anxiety are fairly well established. For example, social isolation is strongly correlated with anxiety. Lack of exercise is strongly correlated with anxiety. These are things that we know became very much more commonplace during the lockdown. Anxiety and depression nearly quadrupled during the COVID-19 lockdowns, increasing from 11% among all Americans in 2019 to over 40% in 2022. During 2021. Things have gone down a little bit as people have gotten back to normal life, but really what people seem to be missing is physical exercise and social interaction, which is why I think team sports, not pills, are the way forward for Americans.
Davis, you had a follow-up to that, didn't you?
Well, is there any evidence or anything that tells us why, assuming we have not had anxiety like this 60 years ago, let's say, why do we have it now? But don't cite those things, those same things, if I can direct you to do that. But what else is going on beyond beyond isolation, et cetera?
I would significantly point to the prevalence of technology in our society that distract us from our current place in being. When you're on your phone and you're just getting news all day about you're collecting the entire world's bad news, right? 60 years ago, you wouldn't know what is going on around the world. You wouldn't keep up with immediate frontline reports from Vietnam, instant pictures, right? Today, you can click on the news, open up your phone, and you're immediately watching people being blown apart in Ukraine. You can see people starving in Sudan. You know about every single shooting in America the moment it happens. You're just inundated with bad things.
Mm-hmm.
You can also look to the music of our time, right? The actual tone and language of music has become significantly more negative and unhappy. You know, Taylor Swift, when she was coming out with her music, you know, happy songs about a country girl. Now they're very sad songs. It's not really about empowerment. It's just very wistful, sad music. And this whole tone in our society is becoming more negative.
Our guest on 710 KURV is Kenneth Schrupp. He has an article out on Newsweek titled "Americans Don't Need More Pills, They Need Sports." And you hit something right there about the overabundance of information that just comes flying at everybody's heads now via smartphones and computers and tablets and stuff. Because, I admit, growing up, my generation is a generation that didn't know what the internet was, and then they were forced to adapt to the internet very, very quickly. And it's like back in the day, you would watch a news report. It's about half an hour. Okay, well, that sucks. And then you just move on with your life. Here, it's in your face, 24/7, information overload. You don't have an opportunity to turn any of that stuff off. And it's very ensconcing, hypnotizing. And it just kind of keeps you there and just bludgeons you until you can't find any positivity on the world. So, or in the world, I should say. So the solution to that, how do you peel yourself away from just the constant barrage of everybody else's opinion coming at you 24/7, 365?
I think sports is really the easiest way to do that. You can't be looking at your iPad while you're playing football or golf or tennis, you name it. The best way to unplug from your screen is to be doing something with your hands and your body and reconnecting with people. Unfortunately, we've allowed the facilities that most people can do this to just completely fall apart. We allowed these public recreation facilities that we spend billions of dollars on to be just overrun by criminals, drug dealers. I'm in Los Angeles, for example, and we run publicly funded needle exchange programs at our rec centers. I'm sorry, but I don't want to get stuck by a used heroin needle or worried about my car being broken in while I'm playing some flag football. I'm not going to bring my kids to a place like that.
I absolutely agree with you.
That doesn't sound very pleasant.
I was going to say we don't necessarily have that problem, but I've been to a public bathroom where I've seen, a used needle right there on the sink. I'm not going to say where around these parts, but I have an idea of what you're talking about. And yeah, it's very discouraging to bring the family out for some sort of event or a picnic or something like that just to stumble upon something like that. So is there an alternative if you can't use a public facility?
I mean, there is an alternative, and you can go pay for the alternative. There are more expensive options like country clubs and the like. There's also the YMCA. There are boys and girls clubs for younger kids. They are better than many of the public options that we have. But we, at the very least, could direct the police to clear out these areas of people who commit crime. Americans need safe places to gather, exercise, be outside, and be with their families.
I will say this: I don't think the criminal stuff applies to us. It may other places, but I've never heard of that down here.
We're like the top 10 safest city in the nation, I think, right now.
Well,
congratulations.
Not that we're rubbing it in your face or anything. Don't misunderstand. we're just highlighting the problems that might be a little bit different here. But the heat is a different problem around the Rio Grande Valley. I'll tell you that for sure. But hey, thanks for stopping by and sharing your opinion with us. That's Kenneth Schrupp from Young Voices joining us on News Talk 710 KURV, your 956 drive home.